Hey you guys, welcome back to the channel. So this recipe is going to be my famous, it's not world famous yet. Now a simple 5-layer bean dip. So let's get started with the ingredients. I have here 2 cups of refried beans, 2 cups of your favorite sour cream, 2 cups of guacamole, around 8 ounces of your favorite cheese. I have a combination of mild cheddar cheese and Monterey Jack and Colby. 1 tomato, 1 stalk of green onion, a half a cup of black olives sliced, and of course, as always, the spicy one that I am, I have a serrano pepper, which is optional. So I'm going to be working with a 9x9 by 2 Pyrex or square dish. And the first layer that I use, or that I put in the dish, is going to be the beans. The reason I choose to put the beans first is because they're pretty sturdy. So we're using like sour cream and guacamole. So those ingredients, they're a little more creamier than these beans. So being that the beans are sturdy, I like to have it as like the foundation or the base, and it just makes it easier to layer the rest of the ingredients on top. So you can use an aluminum pan if you like. It doesn't have to be a clear dish. I just think that for this particular recipe, because it's layered, we eat with our eyes first, right? Or our nose. But it looks really appealing to the eye when you see the dish in a layered form. So start by spreading the beans as the bottom layer. Just like that. And let me mention, I do have a refried bean recipe that's up, a video that's up. If you don't have to make your beans from scratch, of course, right? If you opt to use canned beans, that's perfectly fine. What I would do if you use canned beans is I would follow the instructions on the can by cooking them or warming them up first. Let them cool and then go ahead and proceed to this step. Now, you can kind of do like a semi-homemade refried bean recipe by getting canned whole beans. And then if you go to my video, my refried bean video, and go to the 4-minute mark, go ahead and go from there. Just 4-minute mark, go from there, and you can go ahead and use canned beans and go ahead and refry them and use them for this dish. The next layer that I'm gonna add is the 2 cups of sour cream. What I did is I let the sour cream sit out. I took it out of the fridge and I let it sit out for about an hour, just so it could be workable like this. So my trick to it without blending it with the beans is, of course, let it sit out for an hour, and then you just lightly kind of work it. Start it from the middle. So I dumped it in the middle first and just smooth it out like that. Don't press too hard. You don't want to go into the beans. You want to keep the integrity of the layers, and it'll come out looking so good. So that was 1 cup. Let's go in with the 2nd cup. Okay, here's cup 2. And what I did is I added a little bit more to the center, and I continued working it out, and then like working it out to the different sides. And then I dropped a couple dollops like in each corner so we can fill in the corner. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just spread it, turn it, if you so happen to press a little bit too hard down into the beans and you see a little swirl, just get another little spoonful of sour cream out of the container and just drop it on top of there and then start smoothing it out again. Next is the guacamole. Now I also have a guacamole recipe on my page. I just did a video right before this one, so you can go ahead and check that video out. Or if you want to buy guacamole that's already made from the store, feel free to have at it. You just have to be conscious of the thickness of the guacamole, because if you get something super thick and you try to spread it like this, it will cause like a smeared mess. So I've made this dish, like I've been making it for years, so I know the texture that each layer requires, just so it could be easily spreadable. So just be conscious of that, okay, you guys? Almost done. So everything is all smoothed out in terms of these layers. So we have 3 so far. I'm gonna go in right now and grate some cheese. That'll be the next layer. So I've finished grating the cheese. We're gonna go ahead and liberally sprinkle the cheese on top of the guacamole. Make sure you cover every inch of the dish, because again, this is another layer. This is layer number 4. Now my 5th layer, it's not quite as thick as these previous 4 layers, but you can look at it, think of it more as toppings. Layer number 5 coming right up. So the 5th and final layer is going to be a combination of the green onion, the jalapeño or serrano, which is optional, the tomato, and the black olive. So I'm just going to go ahead and slice up the green onion. I just cut them in circles. You can use kitchen shears if you have them as well. And I will cut the jalapeno the same way. And right after cutting the serrano pepper, I'm going to go ahead and dice the tomato. So with the tomato, I'm going to go ahead and cut this part off first. Just slice it. I'm going to go ahead and cut it in half, right down the center. And I'm actually going to scoop this out. I'm going to scoop these out. The reason why I'm scooping it out is because it'll start leaking, like on the top when you put this, because remember this is a topping. You put it on top, and when you store it in the refrigerator, even if you have it out on the table, you know, serving your guests, as it sits there, you see how it has a lot of liquid in it. So I find that when you scoop that out and just dice this part, it doesn't get as liquidy. So just a little hack, another hack. I'm pretty big on them. Or just a little tip, I guess. Go ahead and slice them. However you dice your tomato, whatever your method is, go ahead and go with that. This is just how I do it. So many different ways to dice a tomato, onion, or just anything that needs dicing. I've tried various ways, and this is pretty much the method that I've settled on, and it works just fine. There you go. So now all that's left is to just sprinkle your tomato on top. I went ahead and combined the green onion, the black olives, and the serrano pepper. It's over there in a ball. I just combined them. Just go in the bowl and sprinkle it like so. Try and spread it out just so you can kind of keep the coloring kind of mixed. And yes, I have tons of jalapeño because I love my food spicy. And there you have it. There's the finished product of my 5-layer bean dip. I hope you guys try this recipe. Thank you for checking out the video. Please give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed. Share the channel, subscribe if you're new, and leave a comment. Have any suggestions? Want to recreate this recipe? Let me know down in the comments. See you next time. Have a good one.